And hello, everybody. Modern World Emporium here with another episode. For today's video, we're going to cover a video from Modern Dating here, one of my favorites, and it's going to be a good one. Please like and subscribe, and we'll get right into it.
I really hate men, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. What do you hate the most about me?
The gel in your hair, sorry.
No, it's
What do you
okay.
hate the most about me?
I don't hate anything about you.
You have to, what do you dislike the most about me?
I don't know. I just met you. You were pretty honest. You were very honest with the question I asked. I mean, I can't.
No, you
I
have
can't
to
hate
pick
on
out
that.
something to dislike.
But I have nothing that I
no,
dislike.
no, you have to pick out something.
I don't
That's
have to.
cool.
No, it's not.
Well, so you just made me insult you and you can't
Well,
insult me back?
you could have said that you didn't have anything that you hated about me.
But I can list off a bunch of things.
Sure. I mean, list anything you want to.
Just that you're a man.
She desperately wanted that guy to love her. You just made me insult you and you can't even insult me back? No. He didn't make you insult him. You chose to insult him. He chose not to do the same to you. She actually feels bad. Watch her face. He handled it like a pro. She sounds hurt. There's some trauma there.
All right, so what we have here in this first clip is a young woman who immediately insults this guy with the microphone, saying that she doesn't like how much gel is in his hair, which is such an incredibly trivial thing to not like about somebody. And I just think that's an incredibly strange thing to obsess on. But nonetheless, moving forward, so he basically asks her, "Hey, like why is that?" She can barely describe it. And then she asks him, "What do you not like about me?" And he's like, "Nothing. I don't know you enough to not like anything about you," which really shows you the contrast in maturity levels between the two of them. He's literally asking her a genuine question, and she's looking for reasons to not like him, which is really crazy, in my opinion. It goes to show you that women truly will do anything to find something they don't like about a man, whether it's the color of his shirt, the sound of his voice, or the gel in his hair. It is really, really gross. It is really disgusting. And it just shows you how egotistical, narcissistic, and just plain judgmental a lot of women in today's world are. It's some sad stuff.
This is the proper way to combat negativity and disrespect. That man is wise. She needed him to say something back that was hurtful, so she can confirm her bias about men in the first place. Cheaters do the same thing. They assume their partner is cheating and hope that it's the truth, so that then they can make them feel better about them doing it. Unfortunately, she looks at things from the negative side, and it's a really sad way to live. This is the reason sometimes therapy is needed. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who looks at life from this lens. I know for sure it would be a hard and short journey, as it would have a lot of drama. Did you notice she felt bad when he didn't point out anything negative about her? She wanted the same input to validate her position, but as he gave her a positive energy, she felt bad for it, and it was just sad.
No, you
I
have
can't
to
hate
pick
on
out
that.
something to dislike.
But I.
Well, so you just made me insult you and you can't insult me back?
You could.
But why does he have to do that? Maybe this is what she experienced the most, so she automatically assumed he wouldn't be different. But he just taught her that she was wrong about a few things. First, we are not all the same. Just because he is a man doesn't mean that he will or would give her the same experience she had with whoever she dealt with. Also, she just learned that there is more to life than disliking strangers who did nothing to you. I don't understand how she can have this feeling for the entire group when she probably only had issues with a couple of people who were part of her life at some point. It's clear that she needs love. We also have to acknowledge the way he conducted himself in that situation. That was a wise decision. He did it like a pro.
And that is actually something I really, really love about this clip. It goes to show you that he really did handle this like a pro. He had nothing negative to say about her, and he handled her negativity with nothing but positivity. I'm sure there's tons of women in the comment section talking about some kind of toxic positivity or whatever garbage they're constantly making up to justify their own terrible behavior. But he genuinely had no reason not to like her. And I think that's what makes this even funnier, is she's sitting there digging for reasons to not like him. She even says, "I have a whole list of things I can name." Like, that's very weird for someone you don't know. And then she continues to try and egg him on, almost trying to get him angry enough to insult her. And like he says in the video, the guy from Modern Dating here, what he says is completely true. She is attempting to justify her own incredibly bad behavior by trying to force him to commit the same bad behaviors. And it's just really, really sad. A lot of women in today's world really want you to be the bad guy in their eyes. So they'll do anything possible and they'll try to drag it out of you too, like she's doing with him. And the funny thing is, had he said something nasty back to her, let's say, she absolutely would have gone off about how all men are terrible and how they're ruining everything and everything is their fault, and that she knew deep down how terrible a person he was. And let's be real. The real reason for that is because she knows deep down that she is, in fact, the terrible person between the two of them. Let's move on.
Okay, this is your sign not to settle in terms of the little things in dating. I've been on a few dates with this guy.
So the guy who I made that video about told me that he was taking dating me seriously and it wasn't casual. And then after that, I ran into him at the coffee shop I go to every day. He was with another girl. He ignored me and pretended like he had never seen me before in his life. And then I never heard from him again. When I ran into him again a week later at the same coffee shop, I cornered him and said, "Hey man, what the hell?"
Why did you even speak to him after seeing him with another woman? Coffee dates are the first red flag, and seems that's his usual spot. You seem so sweet. You deserve way better. Please don't settle. He did that on purpose. The restraint it took to not corner him on his date. Don't talk to him again. Pretend you don't know him. Prepare yourself. He will try and come back. Most likely he saw the video she made and he wasn't okay with it.
And that is a perfect spot to pause the clip because that's actually exactly what I was going to say when I got to this moment. He absolutely saw the video where she claimed they were not seriously dating and only casually dating so she can go and do her usual activities such as sleeping with multiple men, having a roster, and taking dudes for their money and free food. It's really despicable behavior. And the funny part is she's going to sit here and get mad that he saw through the BS and was like, you know what? I'm just going to cut my losses and move on, which is what he did. She got so mad that she could not take advantage of this man that she had to corner him and say, like, what the hell is going on? And that's just really, really immature and ridiculous. Sure, you can say him ghosting her was immature, but I think in this particular situation, it's not that bad, especially considering what she absolutely and obviously was planning to do. And that's take this man for anything he's worth before she discards him and moves on to the next potential person she wants to quote-unquote date, aka Rob Blind.
At this point, it's evident that she was dealing with a mature man but didn't know it. He just displayed the characteristics of a guy who understands that certain matters must be kept private. And since she decided to put his business for everyone to see, he removed himself from that environment. She said he told her that he was planning to date her seriously, but he obviously changed his mind. It was clear that being in a relationship with her would automatically mean that he would also have his whole life open to everyone, and he definitely wasn't pleased with that arrangement, so he got out. Guys don't end things for no reason, especially when it comes to someone we are serious about. Hopefully, she learns from this experience and make a better
And with
decision
that, I
next
couldn't
time.
agree more.
You know, a question that I've always kind of wanted to know the answer to? How do you become a second wife to a man that has no rights or no connection to his children? How do you walk up with your children from your marriage and date a man who has no connection, whether legally or the children just don't want to, rights to their children, and justify having a relationship? What is it that man is saying that talks you into he's the victim?
I am not saying all fathers are great, but I know for sure that she has already seen cases where a father wanted to be in their child's life but couldn't, and there are many possible reasons for this. Sometimes due to the couple's issue, the child is raised on the other side of the world and is told a different story from what actually happened. So in those situations, it's possible a man can have a story to tell his next partner on the reason why he is not in contact with his child.
What is he, How does he make you feel secure when he doesn't talk to any of his children? He has no visitation with his children. No one comes to see him for Thanksgiving. No one sees him for holidays. But you and your kids, what's going on there? I gotta go. I need to know.
I would love to pause the clip here and point out a huge, absolutely glaring red flag that I feel like most people won't see while they're watching this. Did you notice that she has no issue completely and totally ragging on a man who basically has no rights to see his children, so to say, but she has no problem admitting that she is a woman who took children from another man? Does anyone not realize that? She is the exact type of woman that she is trying to say is the good person in the situation because they simply got the kids when anyone else knows that that's not always the truth. He's correct. Not all fathers are great. There's a lot of really bad dads out there, but that's not to say that all dads are bad. And she's trying to claim that all single fathers are bad and that all single mothers are good. You just have to read between the lines and what she's saying and her complete and total BS mindset. And if I wouldn't even go as far as to say myself, I feel a bit of guilt coming out of this clip because she very clearly took a man's children from him, is holding them from him, probably told them a BS story about how he's such an evil, bad man, and now his kids don't ever get to see him again, and it's entirely her fault. This happens a lot in the court system where men are completely screwed out of being able to see their kids, and they have an evil, bitter ex-wife or baby mama that just simply will not allow them to and controls the entire narrative. It's very, very sad. And I personally think women like this should be brought up on charges and receive jail time for their atrocities against the family.
I never believed their story, because as a mother, I would walk through fire to be with my children. Some fathers consistently fight for time to see their children. Maybe the ex-wife has taken the children and won't allow visits, and the court process hasn't concluded. I'm convinced they make themselves the victim and gaslight the new person into believing they are hard done,
The
which is
irony
why they
here
don't
is
see the kids.
insane.
Any women with self-esteem or self-awareness would never date, and especially not marry a man in this situation. Some women are just so desperate for love that they ignore a giant red flag like this. By listening to her, it sounds like she was trying to make a point that men deliberately choose to stay out of their children's lives. But we all know in some cases that's not what happened. Most of us have already heard or seen cases through social media, or even those close to us where the father did all he could to be in his children's lives, but it was made difficult by the other party. I have seen videos where guys place themselves in child support just to have access to their children, and this is real. I am not saying all fathers are perfect, but most are willing to stay close to their kids. However, sometimes it's harder than people think. This is all for today's video, and we hope you like it. Don't forget to check our channel tomorrow for another great content. Most of you watching our video haven't subscribed yet, so if you don't mind, subscribe to our channel, as it will give us the motivation to keep working and post daily for our community.
There are some fathers out there that would literally give up a limb to see their children again because a bitter wife or baby mama has kept them essentially hostage and doesn't allow him to see them at all. But these absolutely disgusting women are sitting here in the comments saying that it has to be his fault. There's no humanly possible way a woman can be bad in this situation. And I think this really goes to show you the disconnect between men and women in this type of situation. Women always will see themselves as the victim, regardless of what they destroy and what they do. Even if they are 100% at fault for the end of the marriage, they'll still try to blame the man for everything. And like I have said, I feel like things like this should have charges brought against them. If you are divorcing someone simply to take their money and their kids, it should be something that is arrestable and jailable for. It's really, really sad that the court system favors these types of women and gives them whatever they want, whether it be the kids, cash and prizes, the house, everything. And it's really sad that men have to deal with this to this day and age. I am really hoping at some point in the near future we get a full court, pretty much like a revision of how the court system does this. And we start seeing women put behind bars for doing this kind of atrocious stuff.
Played this guy by fucking him and ghosting him. And then all my friends fucked him and ghosted him. He really thought he had a chance with us. We're way out of his league. It's so funny.
Okay. Listen. I don't think that's the kind of flex you think it is, huh?
Right, so something I want to point out here is that a lot of other channels, mine will not point out when things are blatantly obvious skits, and that's very obviously what this is. It is a skit, but it does lend credence to the actual reality that a lot of women do this. They think by sleeping with a man and then ghosting him, they are proving a point or showing him how much better they are, but little do they know that Chad has already moved on to the next woman, and then they proceed to act like the other bitter women in this video who are crying and making TikToks in front of a wall or in their car, talking about how all men are terrible and how they are the greatest person that has ever lived, because that is truly how they see themselves in their own mind. It's really sad, and that's about it. We're going to cut the video here for today. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment on the video and share around. Help us get back into the YouTube algorithm. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for checking me out, and I'll see you then.